For many years, medical malpractice verdicts, no matter how grievous the offense, were capped at a certain amount. Well, this was recently struck down by the Supreme Court, and here to explain more about this and other aspects of medical malpractice is Jack Gordon, board-certified civil trial lawyer at Maney Gordon. Good morning.
Always good to see you, and a pleasure to be here on the finest Tampa Bay morning show.
I love that, and I knew it. I love you already. So let's dive into this malpractice issue, because this has really kind of changed kind of the legal world here, and in fact is how you can get more money for clients. How has this changed? What do people need to know?
Well, people need to know, firstly, if they have certain suspicions about whether they've received proper medical treatment, they need to follow up, get a second opinion, do the research. But there have been significant changes over the course of the past few years, and the specific decision that you're talking about is a Florida Supreme Court decision in the McCall case.
Okay.
So a young gal who is 20 years old, Michelle McCall, unfortunately demonstrated preeclampsia during the course of her pregnancy, and doctors failed to recognize that in a timely basis. And again, tragic results for her and her child. She went into a vegetative state. So a verdict was awarded, but by virtue of the fact that Florida since 2003 has had medical malpractice caps on damages, that matter was appealed, and then ultimately the decision was made by the Florida Supreme Court. That's unconstitutional. And if you've been injured as a result of medical malpractice, it shouldn't matter. The doctor shouldn't be given or afforded additional protections more so than any other liable defendant.
Malpractice cases, from what I understand, very difficult to prove, correct? Because of...
Well, the science itself tends to be fairly complex, but remember, the medical malpractice laws were not designed to protect consumers and patients like you and me. Rather, they were designed to protect physicians from otherwise being sued. And that's been true since 1975, when we saw the statute of limitations reduced in medical malpractice claims from 4 years down to 2 years. Here in Florida, and this is true throughout the United States, the statutes themselves are very rigorous. And again, it's a function of the fact that hospitals and doctors are socioeconomically sophisticated, and they have great lobbying organizations, and again, they pass laws that make it very, very difficult to sue them.
Hey, talk about you and your team there, because I think this is so important. Certainly here in the Bay Area, this is where people like to live. This is where they like to work.
It's the land of milk and honey.
It is.
Harley,
it
you know
is.
that.
We were talking about that. So talk about your team, though, and kind of your experience that you're able to bring to the table, which I think makes all the difference in the world. Yeah,
I'm blessed to work with some of the best trial attorneys in the state of Florida and really throughout the country. I have a team of 10 trial lawyers. We have offices in 4 states, but we are AV rated, we are board certified, both state and nationally board certified, and it's a pleasure to wake up in the morning and look forward to who you're working with and what you're doing. At the end of the day, you say, all right, I didn't cure cancer, but I did something worthwhile, and we'll continue to do that.
Any other misconceptions or things people need to know, certainly with laws changing all the time, and again, these recent changes were huge, but anything, anyone you think it's worth mentioning that people should know? I
tell all of our clients, and I tell consumers and patients alike, we are blessed to live in the calendar year 2017, when there is a wealth of information available at our fingertips by virtue of the internet. So before you go get examined by a physician or otherwise agree to a procedure, it's important to do the research, learn a little bit more about what your malady is, and check that particular physician out. There are licensee searches that can be performed on myflorida.gov.
Okay.
Check it out. The best patients are the smarter and informed patients.
I think so too. That's awesome advice. Well, hey, we have a little less than a minute left, and I want to get to your latest TV ad that it's not been on air yet. We're kind of debuting it.
These are the brand new ones. Yeah, this is the world premiere.
So tell us the backstory behind, because this is pretty good.
We're blessed because we have a great productions team, and we have had an opportunity to provide. We produce commercials at some great places, iconic places in and around Tampa, at the Tampa Theater, up in the ceremonial courtroom of Hillsborough County 13th Judicial Circuit. But this one we particularly filmed at the Amalie Arena. And you have to book 3 months out, so there's no way to properly...
Really?
Yes, there's no way to predict what the climate's going to be. And of course you have to film at night. So I rolled in at about midnight, and unfortunately this was in late March during the course of that inclement freezing weather. It was 39 degrees. So you have to try to...
I can't tell.
You want to try to look as comfortable as you possibly can, but at the end of the day, my teeth were chattering.
Oh, well, let's see how you did.
If you've been victimized by medical malpractice, hire the lawyers who spend more time in the courtroom and less time in hair and makeup. Less acting, more lawyering.
Call Maney Gordon or visit us at fightnegligence.com.
So I have to ask, how much time did you spend in hair and makeup for that commercial?
Apparently not enough. by virtue of what you
No,
saw.
you looked good.
Well, I appreciate it, especially that I think I was wearing 3 thermal undershirts and some long johns.
The one night it gets cold here in Florida, right in Tampa. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We hope to have you back soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much,
and again,
guys.
there's the info to get any of your questions answered, because again, I know you must at home have some as well. There is the number and the website as well.